5, a protest turns chaotic outside of a Peoria neighborhood when activists believe that an immigration raid was happening.
But officials say that investigation was not related to immigration at all. Fox 10's Lauren Clark saw this unfold and joins us live now with the details. Lauren.
Hey there, Mark and Ellen. I was actually on my phone going to be sending a message to the Fox 10 news desk when I heard yelling and witnessed a giant scuffle between protesters and police unfold that ended up with someone in handcuffs. Now, anti-ICE protesters believe that an immigration raid was happening, but Peoria PD tells us it was actually related to a drug crime. Chaos and violence erupt outside a Peoria neighborhood. Water gets thrown, people shout and shove. A person appears to get tased, handcuffed, and then taken away. Moments before, about 50 people protested the police presence, believing it was an immigration raid. After chaos in LA and tips of possible ICE raids across the valley Tuesday, activists and community members were on high alert.
These people that are here because of the rapid response alerts that they're getting, whether it's through People First Project, Puente, Borderlands Initiative.
Clarissa Vela with the People First Project arrived outside 69th Avenue in Peoria after being alerted of a possible federal immigration enforcement activity. But Peoria PD says this information was misinformation circulating online.
ICE, DHS, and Tom Homan need to get out of our city because all they're doing is causing chaos and confusion the same way that they did in LA. It is unnecessary.
Maricopa County Supervisor Steve Gallardo says tensions are high considering current events.
I don't know who they're going after, but they are causing fear right now within the community. Hardworking people that are just trying to provide for their families, who are trying to work every day.
But in a statement, Peoria PD says federal agents with HSI were there to execute a drug trafficking warrant. The department also emphasized the event didn't involve ICE or immigration. And Peoria PD says that one adult is currently in custody facing felony charges after assaulting an officer. We've also received a statement from Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell, who says in part damaging property for any reason is not acceptable or hurting another police officer or another person, and those who do so will be held accountable for their unlawful actions. Reporting live here in Peoria, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
6 people are dead after a small plane crashes off the coast of San Diego. And according to FlightAware, that plane was returning to Phoenix.
And tonight, Fox 10's Ashley Rodriguez spoke with a relative of the pilot.
5 miles off the coast of Point Loma in San Diego around noon Sunday, a twin-engine Cessna 414 suddenly crashed into the water, killing all 6 people on board.
I was deeply shocked. I didn't want to believe it at first because it just didn't seem like it could happen to this couple that is so awesome that I knew.
Kirsten Baldwin spent Monday grieving her cousin by marriage, the pilot Landon Baldwin, who had made a distress call moments before the crash.
Bravo Alpha, are you doing okay there? Do you need any assistance?
Kirsten says Landon was an avid flyer who wanted to make a career of it. He and his wife Tori, both in their 20s from Pima, Arizona, and a Gila Valley father with his 3 adult sons were all aboard the plane. The Baldwins leaving behind small children under 5.
There might have been some maintenance problems, but all I know is that they nosedived into the water. And from knowing Landon, that's not something that, he wouldn't pull a prank to try and get them close to the water or do anything adrenaline seeking. So that something was incredibly wrong for that to have happened.
What went wrong aboard the plane is still being investigated by the NTSB. Data shows the pilot told air traffic controllers the plane was having trouble gaining altitude. The pilot issued a mayday and was unable to see a U.S. Naval airport on Coronado Island, where he was directed to land.
Just struggling right now. The president maintains steady.
Landon and Tori were huge believers in Jesus Christ. They have a lot of faith about the power of seeing your loved ones again and that families can live together forever. And so as it's so tragic what has happened, there's a little bit of hope, though, that they will get to see their kids again and their kids will get to see them again.
4 people had to be rescued off Camelback Mountain this afternoon due to heat-related injuries.
And as triple-digit temperatures are here, the fire department reminding everyone how dangerous it is to hike in the heat. Our Lindsay Regis with the update tonight.
This was a busy afternoon for Phoenix firefighters. What started out as one rescue led to 3 more rescues here on Camelback Mountain.
2 of them, we did what's called a 2-skid landing, where we land the helicopter with it still running and brought them on the patrol ship and then brought them back down. The 3rd patient we brought down with a big wheel operation and then able to transport them.
Captain Daniel Lee says all of the hikers rescued were women, and one of them had to be put in an ice bath to bring her temperature down as quickly as possible.
Those bags of ice definitely help bring the core temperature down. It's been a proven thing that the fire departments have been using on heat emergencies all throughout the valley, not just on trails, but actually out in the valley, doing this ice immersion in these bags. They do help, and now that we can use them on these trails, it's huge for us to have that ice on hand for us.
Rescues involve first responders to hike up the mountain with several pounds of gear to get to a patient. Along with caring for the hikers, Captain Lee says the firefighters are also looked at by medical staff.
When they come down, we put them through it's called a rehab, where they get inside of an air-conditioned vehicle to drink plenty of fluids, give them food, snacks, things like that, and we'll check their vital signs to make sure that there's nothing out of the whack. We want to make sure our crews are up to the peak standards and it's safe for them to go back into service too.
An experienced hiker shares how he stays safe during triple-digit temperatures.
You have to prepare, hydrate prior. I bring a frozen bottle of water with me, and then you just got to be smart about it. You pay attention to your body. 2
of the hikers who were rescued were taken to the hospital. One is in critical condition and the other woman is in stable condition. Reporting at Camelback Mountain, Lindsay Regis, Fox 10 News.
Now to a look at protests in different cities across the valley today. More than 2,000 people turning out in Old Town Scottsdale.
Another 1,000 or so showed up in Chandler, along with crowds in Surprise and Tempe, all for the same event called No King's Day. But maybe the biggest crowd came to the state capitol today. Authorities estimate about 5,000 in attendance. This is a coordinated effort to hold peaceful protests across the country and push back against President Trump's policies, especially heavy-handed immigration enforcement. There was some trouble today in Los Angeles.
Tensions rising in L.A. today for the No Kings protests. Police using tear gas and pepper spray on demonstrators this afternoon. As protesters were blocking the street, many of the officers were on horseback as they advanced on the demonstrators who scattered. The unrest came 1 week after protests against immigration and customs enforcement raids.
Here at home, thousands of protesters showed up at several sites, including the state capitol.
And we also have reaction tonight from the head of the Arizona Republican Party. Nicole Christine joins us live with more. Nicole.
Hey, Ashley and Brian. So today, thousands were out here near the Capitol lawn. Now we've got a few dozen. You can see them behind me, and they have kind of shifted over to the intersection of Adams and 17th Ave. And they are mostly just holding up their signs and interacting with some drivers as they go by. A lot of these drivers honking and kind of sharing in this message. So protesters, they say our country designed to run as a democracy, not a monarchy. Now, Trump supporters say that democracy is what got Trump elected, and his stance on immigration was clear.
Disgusting, and it's scary, and it is anti-American.
Because we're peaceful. Thousands voicing their criticism of the Trump administration as part of a No King's Day protest at the Arizona State Capitol.
It just feels important to be out here as somebody who can do it safely for the people who can't.
Arizona Republican Party Chairwoman Gina Swoboda telling Fox 10 in an exclusive interview the protests are one thing, but the escalation and targeting of law enforcement is too far.
It's free speech and you want to be able to demonstrate, but nobody should be getting violent. And then it's kind of feeding on itself.
Swoboda making the point that the majority of voters in Arizona elected Trump in November, adding that she hears from legal immigrants in favor of Trump's policies.
They are the people that are sitting in these communities on the border watching their jobs and their neighborhoods and their schools and their hospitals being destroyed because we can't handle the volume of people.
A first-generation Mexican-American at the Capitol today sharing her response to Swoboda.
And there are parts of my family that are in favor because they do feel like they went through a lot to get here legally, and I completely understand that. However, I don't think that just because some people were not able to get here legally, we should be treating them the way that we are.
Protesters saying the timing of the Army parade in D.C. and Trump's birthday makes the message even more important.
What better day to do it than when the president is spending government funds in order to celebrate his own birthday, you know, taking troops that should be focusing elsewhere on other things, just in a parade for himself.
Whatever's going on over there, that's their own issue. Like I'm here to do what I need to do and to support my community because I grew up here. This is my home. This is my family, and I want to give as much care and support as I can.
Ann Swoboda also made the point during our interview that politicians do play a role in this. She said people on both sides of the aisle have a duty to Americans to not incite violence with their posts or anything that they're sharing out there on social media. She says that the conversation between Democrats and Republicans and that middle ground really needs to be found before the country has to suffer. Reporting live outside of the Arizona State Capitol tonight, Nicole Christine, Fox 10 News.
Okay. The community comes together to remember an officer who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Officer Gabriel Facio was shot and killed in the line of duty.
And tonight, a barbecue fundraiser in Apache Junction to support his family. Our Kenzie Beach was there and heard from members of that community.
It's really frustrating when this disgusting act of violence takes one of those that are trying to protect us.
A mourning department and community continue to pay their respects to Officer Gabriel Facio. Law enforcement agencies from all over the valley pouring into Apache Junction for a barbecue fundraiser.
This community really rallies around its own, and Officer Facio was one of our own. So we loved him and we miss him, and we always will, but we're thankful for the impact he made.
The veteran officer leaves behind a wife, 2 children, a granddaughter, and an extended family of almost 100.
It was gut-wrenching to fight them when they're just trying to do their job and go home to their families. To me, there's no real word for it.
I saw it the other day, and I just tell you, it broke my heart.
AJPD Chief Michael Pooley says the Facio family was brought to tears seeing thousands of people show up to Apache Junction High School, not only to raise money, but come alongside the family following this tragedy. The family wanting justice, but choosing to forgive the suspect, a testament to the Facio family's character.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotions, and anger is one of them. And that's part of being who we are as human beings. But when I see somebody as strong as her, it gives me a little bit of something to think about and to really reflect on.
A funeral procession will take place Monday in Apache Junction. The community is asked to line Superstition Boulevard to show their support, followed by a funeral service. Officer Facio will be laid to rest in El Paso, Texas, surrounded by family. In Apache Junction, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.